Hello and welcome to Ginexplicable. My name is Sophia. I am your host on this beautiful day where there is no light. There's no light in my house. There's no light in this camper van. There is no light outside. You just have to bear with me. It's winter. Anyway, hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be drinking some gin and I'm going to be talking about stuff that I don't understand. The gin that I'm drinking today, once again, is a farce. I've broken my own rules. I got something that was on special from the bottler and it was a grape vodka soda. It's by the Rinse Company, New Zealand's own. I like it. I like what they're doing. It does taste like a vape, but I am partial to a vape. Firstly, off the bat, I'm a people pleaser, so I'm very sorry for not giving you guys the background that you deserve. I don't know. No, this isn't good. But do you know what? Say la vie. Grab yourself a wee beverage, be it gin, grape vodka, a cup of tea. Keep yourselves warm, and let's buckle in for the mystery today. So we start in the town of Woolpit in Suffolk, England. And it's called Woolpit, interestingly enough, because it was a place that used pits to trap wolves, I think. And near one of these pits, some farmers discover two children that they don't recognise. And obviously it's like small, close-knit towns in those days, so they're just like, who are these kids? To be honest with you, the kids are a little bit remarkable for the time. And the first thing they notice about these kids is that they're wearing pretty elaborate, interesting clothes that the folk of Woolpit had never seen before. Their colours were some that the farmers had never seen before. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But also, most notably, these children are tinged a strange green, and at first the farmers think maybe it's just, when they weren't close to them, that they're reflecting the light from the trees or something, but as they get closer they realise, oh no, holy shit, these kids are actually green. When they ask them, how you doing? You're right. These children begin to respond in a language that the farmers do not understand. Ooh, spooky. So the farmers, the townfolk, whoever, obviously offer food to these children. They don't know where they've come from, they can't understand them, so they start to offer them fresh bread, and the children sort of back away from it, and they're like, oh, we don't really know what this is. And apparently the boy starts crying. I don't know if I even mentioned they're a boy and a girl. It's a boy and a girl kid. They don't understand anybody, but actually a nobleman of the area decides to be a good bastard and take them in. He noticed a few things, obviously, as the two children became adjusted. At first they refused all food except from beans. And it's quite interesting because a podcast I listened to said beans are the food of the dead. If that's so, fucking have me in a casket right now, because I absolutely love beans. Obviously it's an old mystery, so there's going to be a lot of we think the fairies, we think the demons kind of shit. But basically, yeah, just know that beans were considered to be the food of the dead, and they loved beans, so this was the green, and they loved beans, so this isn't obviously a very good start for these two poor kids. And they speak a weird language, and they have different clothes, England was always very xenophobic. And as I mentioned, this is why I don't like old mysteries, because people were just stupid. They did adapt after a while to eating the local foods, but it did take them a while. And when they did adapt to the local foods, apparently their colour did fade, which is interesting, and maybe hints to some sort of malnutrition and stuff like that, but we'll get into it later. After they were taken in by this nobleman, the girl flourished, and sadly the boy died. Don't know how, it was a million years ago. The girl did eventually begin to speak English and told everyone that they came from a place called St. Martin's Land, where it was perpetually twilight and that everybody had green skin like them. Okay, interesting. And that they had followed a noise, the sound of bells, and then suddenly ended up in the wool pit after they were tending to the father's animals. So this is all very, very amazing and intriguing, but we have to remember that kids have amazingly vivid imaginations too. So who knows what the hell is going on there? There's theories that I'll of course get into, but that's basically the crux of it. That's the meat of it. And I am just thinking basically malnutritioned orphan people. Once again, this is my beef with old mysteries. You've got accounts. You've got a couple of different accounts of green children showing up in the area and wearing different clothes and wearing having different looking things to people. And then people are so quick to be like, okay, the green, they speak a different language, they're wearing different clothes. Nobody had travelled in the 1100s. They could have been from anywhere. They'd not maybe seen different skin tones, because everyone who's British is like red and white, like me. You know what I mean? And they, I don't know. Nobody knew anything. That is what I mean. Nobody knew anything. So people are doing these accounts, and I'm not saying they're stupid, but they just don't know as much as we do these days. So obviously their experience is very limited. Okay. What I will say is the Sir Richard dude that took them in was highly educated and was well travelled, so he would probably, the theory is, he'd probably be able to understand something of the language if he'd come from like a neighbouring country, or, as I'll get into in a minute, a lot of people believe that these guys are Flemish orphans, but he had travelled to Belgium and he would probably know. He'd probably know some languages, and he didn't understand or recognise the language that these dudes were speaking. I'm so drunk. I'm gonna get into the theories now. Number one, malnourished Flemish kids. I mean, it goes without saying, I think it's funny that the skin turned back to the original colour after they started eating loads of food. Maybe it's like when people eat too much carrots, like to have too much beta carotene and turn orange, like that episode of Scrubs. I don't know. You are what you eat. If you eat a load of green shit, you're going to maybe turn green. I don't know. That is not scientific in any way, obviously. The fact that the colour did come back to normal does sort of point to malnutrition. I'm not thinking aliens at this stage. They also thought it could possibly be a type of anemia. Hello? Low ferritin girlies, pop off. But obviously it's not good. I think they were probably just very malnutritioned. They came from a different land. I've explained xenophobia in the UK. It still exists. As I say a lot of times, accounts aren't always correct in that day and age, so I don't believe anything. I want to believe it's people from a parallel universe. I want to believe it's people... another popular theory was that these kids were fairy children because, you know, beans were the food of the dead, and also that, you know, the fae people were oftentimes seen as being green. And also... I don't know. People just didn't know anyone different from themselves in those days. And that's pretty much it, I think. I don't think the fairies, I don't think that they are from an underground realm. I'd look, see, if it was in the modern day or slightly more modern day, you'd just have an interview with her, you'd just know. But back in the day, everyone was just like weird and saying things are mistranslated. It's like Chinese whispers, you know, like you say one thing and then by the time it gets to the 10th person it's a totally different thing. What I will say is it's not the first time that people's skin has been reported as being a strange colour. I'm going to talk to you about the blue people of Kentucky now. So there's a family in a Kentucky town and they were known for having blue skin, bright blue skin, and this is in the 18 to 1900s. I don't even have a date for this, but it, you know, once again it's old, but it's not that old, so maybe it's more true. Yeah, this Kentucky family just had bright blue skin. They were called the Fugate family, and they lived in a place called Troublesome Creek, and I want to live there because I think shit must go down in Troublesome Creek. And they were causing troubles in Troublesome Creek with the blue skin. It's a remote, isolated part of Kentucky, and because of generational isolation inbreeding, like a rare genetic condition happened where they were all blue. It's called methemoglobinemia. It's called methemoglobinemia. It's like anemia, but blue shit. And it means the blood couldn't carry oxygen properly, which turned the skin a bluish colour. And it's a recessive gene. Ironically, a doctor treated them with methylene blue, and it turned the blood red again. What the fuck? Oh my god, there's so many things. Anyway, there's so many things about everything, and I don't even want to go into that. People are green, people are blue, people are black, people are white. You know, we should just all be nice to each other. That's it. I don't have anything else to say. That's it. There's no, like, obviously I reckon these orphans were just, like, proper malnourished, and everyone who reported them as being otherwise were just dramatic as shit because it was the olden days. Please, for the love of everything, give me a mystery that's modern, and I'll talk about it. Thank you so much for watching. This was probably a shit one today, but much love. # follow, like, subscribe. Whatever, thank you. Stay hungry, stay foolish, stay drinking gin unless you're an alcoholic, stay green, stay blue, stay black, stay white. Love yourself. Love your motherfucking self. Bye!